In today's episode of Inside the Mind, we're going to talk about a problem that so many of us face but rarely know how to fix: being ambitious but lazy. This audio recording includes subtitles so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace. You have big goals, you know you're capable of more, you see other people succeeding, and deep down you believe you could do it too, and yet you don't. Instead, you procrastinate, you overthink, you wait for motivation to strike, but it never seems to last. And worst of all, you don't understand why. It's not like you're incapable, it's not that you don't want success, it's just something always stops you. So today, we're going to break that cycle. We're going to talk about why this happens, where that resistance comes from, and most importantly, how to break free from it. Because this isn't about laziness, it's about a survival strategy that has stopped working. And once you understand it, you can finally start moving forward. Let's start with the big question. Why do ambitious people struggle with laziness? The answer: perfectionism. Not in the way you might think, not just obsessing over tiny details or wanting everything to be perfect. No, this is a deeper, more dangerous kind of perfectionism, the kind that stops you from starting at all. See, when you have big ambitions, your brain does something sneaky. It creates an idealized version of success, a perfect, flawless outcome. And then it compares that ideal to where you are right now. And the gap, it feels impossible to cross. So instead of taking action, you do nothing. You distract yourself. You wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect moment to start. But that moment never comes. And that's because perfectionism is just fear in disguise. The fear of failure, the fear of looking stupid, the fear of not living up to the image you have in your head. So what's the solution? How do you break free from this cycle? Step 1, lower the bar, not permanently, not forever, but right now you need to, because when the goal is too big, your brain sees it as a threat, and threats trigger avoidance. It's a survival instinct. Your mind wants to keep you safe. But if you can make the first step so small, so ridiculously easy that it doesn't feel threatening, you can trick your brain into taking action. Instead of, I need to build a business, start with, I need to spend 10 minutes brainstorming ideas. Instead of, I need to get in shape, start with, I need to do 1 push-up. Instead of, I need to write a book, start with, I need to write 1 sentence. Because once you start, momentum kicks in. And momentum is everything. Now here's a trick that works every single time. It's called the 5-minute rule. And it's as simple as this. When you don't feel like doing something, tell yourself you're only going to do it for 5 minutes. Just 5. If after 5 minutes you genuinely want to stop, you can. No guilt, no pressure. But most of the time, you won't stop. Because getting started is the hardest part. Once you overcome that, your brain shifts from, I don't want to do this, to, well, I'm already here. Might as well keep going. It sounds too simple. But that's why it works. Your brain is complicated. Motivation is complicated. But action is simple. And when you start small, action becomes easy. Here's something no one tells you. You do not need motivation to take action. In fact, waiting for motivation is exactly what's keeping you stuck. Because motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes, and if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll never be consistent. So instead of relying on motivation, rely on momentum, because momentum creates discipline, and discipline creates results, and results, they create motivation, not the other way around. Here's the final piece of the puzzle, and this might be the most important part. You need to stop identifying as a lazy person, because the more you tell yourself you're lazy, the more your brain believes it. And when your brain believes something, it looks for ways to prove itself right. But what if, instead, you started seeing yourself as someone who takes action? What if every time you followed through on something, even if it was tiny, you reinforced that identity? I'm the kind of person who gets things done. I take action even when I don't feel like it. I'm not lazy. I just had the wrong approach before. Because here's the truth. You are not lazy. You're just overwhelmed. You're just stuck in your head. You've just been trying to solve the wrong problem. But now you know better. So if you take one thing from this video, let it be this. Success doesn't come from waiting for motivation. It doesn't come from perfection. It comes from showing up every day, even when it's small, even when it's messy, even when you don't feel like it. Because once you start moving, everything gets easier. And once you believe you're someone who takes action, you'll never be stuck again. Thanks for watching Inside the Mind. If this video resonated with you, leave a comment below and let me know what stood out the most. And if you're ready to start taking action, subscribe for more content like this. Take care of your mind. and I'll see you in the next episode.